Hello, friends from the comic and manga world. My name is Hector,
And my name is G.
and we're here to talk to you about the picks for June 9, 2025. G and I work for Penguin Random House, and we manage sales into the direct comic market around the world. So, titles that we talk about in these videos are from the publishers that we represent into those markets. Also, note we're on social media. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, X, Twitter, and of course, YouTube. And under at uh, PRH International Comics. And we'll leave links in the description below of this video. So without further ado, let's get started. I think it's you first,
Yes.
Reggie. Yeah.
So I realize this is a volume 4, but I have to talk about it anyway. So
Yes.
get volume 1 if you haven't. This is KinnPorsche. This is the novel volume 4. I thought it was really timely to talk about it again because if you're a fan, there's fans out there like me. Recently, within the last couple of weeks, at least at the time of this recording, there was like a surprise reunion. I should mention that this is a Thai boys' love novel that was that w- is that was turned into a live action drama adaptation with the same name called KinnPorsche the series, and it blew up unexpectedly for a lot of people how big it got when the series dropped. It's like a rabid fan base in a good way. I use
Yeah.
rabid as like it seems like a negative term, but it's not. It's a really good. It's like it has a voracious following, I should say, and recently there was a surprise reunion of the cast at there's a actor from the show who is a singer, and at a concert he brought in like a reunion for some of the cast of the show. So this has been on the news because of that. And with the volume 4 coming out and you have the previous volumes, this is the time to do so. A little bit about this. I did talk about this before, but it's been a while, so I will go over a little bit about the premise. We have the main character here named Porsche, who unfortunately his parents passed away um, like a while ago, tragically, and he has to balance between going to college, also bartending to support his younger brother, and to pay off the debts of his deadbeat uncle who has this gambling debt. And so he witnesses like this gang of thugs sort of berating and attacking this handsome young man who he doesn't know in the alleyway behind the bar that he works for. And he's reluctant to intervene because he's kind of like, maybe I should just like not not get involved because that could get really dicey. But this mysterious man who's very handsome offers him 50,000 baht to help him escape. And so he decides, this is money, so let me do it. So he helps him. The stranger's like, "Oh my gosh, thank you." This is really rambling and long. I apologize. You can tell I really like it. But anyway, because of his amazing fighting skills, he's like, let me make a proposition to you since you did so well. Why don't you become my personal bodyguard? And then if in exchange, I'll basically absolve the debts that your uncle had accrued. And so they have this arrangement. At first, Porch doesn't really want to be involved because he realizes that this mystery man is part of a notorious crime family. So it's if you like the mafia boys love very handsome boy like male characters who fall in love with each other, this is definitely for you. Again, originally written in Thai but got translated here into English, and this wonderful novel that you see here, and yeah, critically acclaimed international adaptation for the drama, also available to take a gander and peek at if it
Yeah.
interests you. So
Yeah. I
okay.
gotta say, I love Love the cover, especially the details of, bullets and guns and knives behind
It
them,
really
but
paints a
also,
picture of what I'm
yeah,
talking about.
but then also the word love written in blood in red, which I'm assuming is blood. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, I completely missed that actually.
No
I
way. I
missed it.
noticed something that you missed. No
But you know what
way.
it also
This is the
looks
first
like?
time ever.
It looks like smoke from like a gun
One of
that
the
you had
guns. I
just
thought about that
yeah.
too, but it doesn't really match. And you, if you can see part of it, you can see it through one of the barrels, the red. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking it is supposed to be like a
It's
splatter of blood on the wall or the ground, I don't know, whatever, with
uh-huh.
the word love. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Anyways,
Anyway.
I am so happy today because, I noticed something that you hadn't noticed on the cover, which is very rare. Next up is Star Trek Red Shirts #1, cover 8. This is covered by Chris Sheehan. This is a book by Christopher Cantwell and illustrated by Megan Levins. Um, I'm really excited about this. I've said it before. I don't consider myself a Trekkie, but I do love Star Trek. And there's so much that over the last couple of years has come out within comics and also with in TV and with the TV shows for Star Trek um, that have make me my love for Star Trek grow. This, aside from Lower Decks, which I've talked about many times on this channel that I absolutely love, I think this is going to be my next favorite thing for Star Trek. And if you know Star Trek, you know what the red shirts mean. If you don't, red shirts are, you know, the whenever they would go down into a planet, there was always one person or two in red shirts, and you knew automatically that it was the people who get killed. And it's a thing in Star Trek, and over the years they keep using it, and I'm so glad that they're doing something with it, something interesting and funny at the same time. Um, it's a 5 issue miniseries, like I said, by Christopher Cantwell and Megan Livens. Uh, and it just the description I just have to read real quick. Featuring Starfleet's most intrepid and doomed crew members, red shirts. Now, finally, they get their own story. Led by an experienced officer embedded on the snow-ridden planet Arconia 89, the crew of the USS Warren has a small window in which to pin down spies seeking to steal classified secrets and keep Starfleet data out of their nefarious hands. They face threats not only from their faceless enemy, but from the brutalizing elements and wildlife of a planet far from home. The red shirts' lives and Starfleet's sanctity are on the line, and no one is safe. It is like it's going to be awesome, and I believe there are going to be different stories in each issue, but it's like Final Destination. You know they're going to die, you don't know how or when, and it just puts another level to the mystery. And I always love one of the things I really love about Star Trek is those missions into down into the planets, especially if there's filled with a lot of danger. So this is going to be amazing. And let's talk about the cover because all the covers are amazing. Is obviously give the artist a big opportunity to play around with the concept of the red shirts and how and dying and all that. But this one specifically, I had to pick it as the A cover because you see, a red shirt skeleton floating in space. You see the communicator sort of floating to his side, but in the calm space, you know, you just poor red shirt is just left behind. That's it. Sorry, I said a lot about this, but I am really, really excited about this one, and I think it's going to do extremely well.
Mhm. All right, next up for my pick, this is Be Not Afraid, issue #2. This is the 1 in 20 incentive variant, the full art, I should say.
Hmm.
So I I will mention a little bit about the premise again here. This is Cora who receives this vision of a visitor, this angelic pure light visitor in her vision, the aftermath in which results in giving birth to this child who is essentially an offspring of the angel and the human woman, but the child seems to be like imbued with like evil itself. And so 17 years later, trying to hide or suppress the child's monstrous nature. It's kind of hard to do that, even how, despite how long they've tried. And so the townspeople around them live in fear, knowing that there's going to be atrocities or that follow closely behind him, this child birth out of the both of them, Cora and the angel. And so on the eve of his 18th birthday, Cora, the mom, receives this new vision. Heaven itself called upon her to destroy the abomination born of her own flesh, so to get rid of this kid. And so it's a very interesting story. If you haven't picked it up, you should do so. Issue one's already out, of course. But so this is like feminist rage mixed with um folk tale, like folk horror, descending into hell. It has like underpinnings of mythology mixed in with like evangelical traditions and religion, cosmic horror, etc., etc. You could tell by this cover. I think it's so striking, the way that it looks and the. Well, it's interesting that they use the cardinals, right? The red
Yeah,
cardinals
yeah.
with a religious
Hmm.
aspect to this. So it's just a very interesting interpretation with the artwork here.
Yeah. And I just read issue one and I have it right here next to me. And maybe you don't see it depending on what the camera goes, but I have the J. Lee cover from issue one, and it's so good. It is
Hmm.
so good. Highly, highly recommend this book.
Oh, I should have mentioned Jenna Cha.
Yeah, it's Jenna
I
Chah's art, which
apologize.
is
I need
amazing.
to, acknowledge the artist
Yeah, the
here.
art is so good. And next up is Star Wars Legacy of Vader number 6. This is a Jose Maria Casanova's variant. It's a 1 in 25. I picked covers from this book before. I love this book. I love Star Wars, obviously, but I love that we're following the story of the legacy of Darth Vader through Kylo Ren. Um, just a quick, this is a good jumping point, kind of, because it sort of begins a new story or a new quest in Kylo's Ren story that we're following here, and it promises to introduce a mysterious new Jedi that survived Order 66. So yeah, I can't wait to read this. But let's talk about this cover. Jose Maria Casanova is the Spaniard artist, which I love and has done a lot, not just in Star Wars, but he has done a lot for Star Wars comics. Um, does an amazing interpretation here. Kylo Ren in the snow with his badass lightsaber, just walking through the snow. I love the colors, and he does this thing. Jose Maria Casanova does this thing where he uses very simple uh, colors, but he does amazing, a lot of stuff with it. And here, having only really white and gray and black to work with, and then just having that red in the middle, he did it splendidly with it. So yeah, it's an amazing cover. It just caught my eye right off the bat, of course. Next up.
Next up, we have Godzilla, the Kaisei Error. This is issue number one. There are multiple variants, of course, but the one that was striking to me was the Cade Bryant. And then you'll see one with the trade dress, one with the full art, which is a 1 in 50 ratio variant. And so we have set in the 1954. we have experimentation with this mysterious energy source known as Kaisei, which awakens Godzilla and a host of immortal kaiju. So in the years that follow that, humanity has been pummeled essentially by near constant monster attacks as a result. And so while Japan has begun to treat kaiju as like a natural disaster in a way, understanding that their attempts to fight Godzilla only makes the threat worse. So they try to live their life as if,
Mhm.
oh, this is just something that they have to deal with. But on the other side, the American G-Force has a different approach, which is basically they're going to fight. And so
Yeah,
Americans
of
have
course.
discovered the ultimate tool in the fight against kaiju. And oddly enough, the tool is this young boy named Jason who has the power of Godzilla. So he's able to harness this mysterious Kaisei power in the same vein as the King of Monsters. And so the boy will either save the world or bring about its doom. So this is IDW's Kaisei Error. The new universe starts here with this title, with this issue number 1. So, yes,
Yes,
my
very
pick for this
exciting.
week.
And next up, something interesting. This is Far Cry, Call the Herd, issue number 1. This is from Tokyopop. This is written by Ryan Nichols. Katharina Bashelli is illustrator, and Elisa Bartolucci is on colors. I believe that they are also responsible for this cover, and it's obviously based on the Far Cry um, video game and the series and the franchise. And actually, it includes it features uh, villains from different ones, like Ann Castillo from Far Cry 6, Vaz Montenegro from Far Cry 3, Pagan Min from Far Cry 4, and Batari from Far Cry Primal. And they're transported into a prehistoric times by a priestess who, and then throws them into danger. I am going to continue talking. Hello? Can you hear me,
Uh,
G?
yes, I can hear you
I
now.
think we got a little hiccup there. Anyways, so this is one of four issues. Um, but also Tokyopop is gonna do another single issue series, and it's on the next page on the slide. There you go. And Far Cry call, it really, when I saw it, I was like drawn to it because I know Far Cry. But then I started reading about this other one, and it's so interesting too. This is the fourth rope, issue 1. This is written by Marcus Wavena Johnson, illustrated by John Concepcion, and colorist is Akinije Victor. I forgot to mention, I think the Far Cry, the colors and illustrator are from Italy. Um, this case, I don't remember exactly where they're from, but specifically Marcus Cawena Johnson, the writer, he is a manga writer and a comic writer, but he is works in the Mississippi public system, and he is very knowledgeable with African folklore, and he imbues what he writes into those stories with the African culture. Johnny O'Brien, if it sounds familiar, he's a former NBA player who's yeah, also co-author. So one is co-author, the other is comic script. And I'm not sure where the illustrators are. Sorry. But the story of this very very quickly is it's the IWE, the Intergalactic Wrestling Extreme, and there's just you know as you expect from wrestling, organization. They have championships and there's a lot of flair and all that. And we follow the reigning champion the Flair, the name, who vows to claim all five belts in the IWE. So it's all about wrestling, and it has, like I said, it's imbued with a lot of sci-fi, but also African culture in it too. I think it's gonna be awesome. So it's another one to check out for sure. So we have those two from Tokyopop on this FOC. Don't miss out.
Mhm. And then for the piece of news, we have Inklore, who announced Heaven's Official Blessing, the comic that they're going to be putting out. This is the volume one. This is a reveal of what, a little sampling of what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
So it'll have designed sprayed edges, really cool end paper, deluxe uh, jackets, custom case with foil gold. There's a exclusive print with like a digital signature um that's going to be printed. So that's something to look forward to. If you don't know about this, where have you been? 'Cause this is
I
everywhere.
know. It's the
Uh,
biggest thing ever.
it is huge. So, Heaven's Official Blessing, there's the novel, which you could also pick up from us, but this is the comic adaptation. So there's also Donghua animated with the seasons that is available to watch as well. So definitely recommend checking it out there. But essentially, we have this main character, Shi Lian, who very interestingly, it's difficult for a mortal to ascend to heaven in the first place. But what's even more difficult is falling from grace and ascending again.
Yeah.
So twice banished God, like infamous for like falling from grace. 800 years has passed since his mortal life as a crown prince. So he's basically like this laughing stock of the three realms. And when he like ascends, not just once, twice, but when he ascends a third time, it really causes all the other gods and his divine peers, in an uproar. Like, what? You're we're bringing back this guy again? And so to repay his heavenly debts, he must descend back into the mortal realm to hunt ghosts
Hmm.
and basically these ghosts that prey upon the living. And he encounters this mysterious stranger. Is this stranger a friend? Are they a foe? Is it something else entirely? And I'm saying it
Yeah.
this way because obviously this is a Danmei, so there's going to be some romance here, or like
Yeah.
at least under like you'll know, you'll see,
Yeah. Yeah.
you'll
Yeah.
see when you get into it. So this volume one includes the prologue, includes episodes 1 to 14 of the original webcomic that was based on the web novel of this that you could also get. And yeah, everyone's so excited. Once this was
Yes.
announced this week, everyone went crazy. So this is something that you can't miss out on.
Yeah, and I do want to comment that highly, highly enjoyed it. I enjoy the light novels and the anime. I haven't read the webcomic, so I'm gonna wait till we have the comic in physical form so I can read it. But also, if you love, you know, not just sort of sort of historical fantasy kind of themed stories, but also, fans of Apothecary Diaries and things like that, where you have the main character sort of doing investigations and that kind of thing. It's also very interesting in that way. And of course, there's a romance in there, but it's very. I found it very flirtatious, which is also kind of fun. It was very fun. It's very fun, and the characters are extremely like I love how the characters are very well defined with their own personalities. And yeah, I'm not a big reader of BL. Is, but of the few that I've read, this is absolutely my favorite, and it's one of my absolute favorite in general for what I've read in the last few years. There you go. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it and hope you come back. We, like I mentioned before, we are on social media. You can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, on X, Twitter, and you can find us now at PRH International Comics. And that's all. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Bye, everyone.